Letting go of the past is not an event. It's a decision you have to remake every time the memories knock on your door. Some people think letting go means forgetting. Others think it means pretending the past never happened. But the truth is far simpler and far harder. Letting go means you stop letting yesterday decide who you're allowed to become today. And most people never do that. Not because they're weak, but because the past feels familiar, and the familiar feels safe, even when it hurts. Why we hold on. The comfort of pain. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "People are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." He wasn't talking about the world. He was talking about the invisible chains we carry. The stories, the assumptions, the self-blame, the disappointments we replay at night. Notice something. Pain doesn't return to us because it enjoys our company. Pain returns because we keep the door unlocked. We rehearse old conversations. We replay moments where we felt small. We scroll through memories that no longer deserve our attention. And then we wonder why we're stuck. Let me ask you directly. What memory from your past has lived in your mind far longer than it ever lived in your life? Comment it below with, "I'm ready to release this." The illusion of what could have been. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." We suffer because we try to live both directions at once. We hold the past in our left hand and the future in our right, and we wonder why we can't move. You can't walk forward while staring over your shoulder. You can't enter a new chapter if you keep rereading the last one. And you cannot evolve if you insist on dragging your old self into a life that requires a new version of you. But here's the real obstacle. We fall in love with what could have been. We build fantasies around alternate endings. We rewrite history in our minds, thinking one different decision would have given us a perfect life. This illusion traps millions of people. Let's make this interactive. Type, "I release what could have been," if you're ready to stop living in imaginary timelines. Your past is a place of reference, not residence. The psychologist Carl Jung wrote that, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." When you cling to your past, you're not remembering, you're reliving. Think about that. Your mind becomes a home for ghosts that were never meant to stay. Your identity becomes shaped not by who you are, but by who you were forced to be. Letting go isn't losing the past. It's losing the belief that the past owns you. Tell me in the comments, "My past does not define me." Write it so your future self can hear it. The weight you carry isn't the memory, it's the meaning. The Buddha taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is the event. Suffering is the story we keep repeating. Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe you failed at something that mattered. Maybe a moment broke your heart, your confidence, or your sense of worth. But what if the event itself wasn't the heaviest part? What if the weight is the meaning you attach to it? Because they left, I wasn't enough. Because I failed, I'll never succeed. Because they hurt me, I must not be lovable. These conclusions were never true. But repeat a lie long enough, and it starts to sound like destiny. Let's rewrite it right now. Comment, "I choose a new meaning." The story you tell is the life you live. Every human being has a narrative. It's the quiet script that runs beneath their decisions. I always get hurt. People always leave. I can't trust anyone. Things never work out for me. But here's the secret philosophers understood. Your life bends toward the story you repeat. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you carry old anger, old wounds, old betrayals. Your thoughts are dyed with the past, and your future ends up painted with the same colors. Let me challenge you. Write in the comments one affirmation you want your future to be dyed with. It can be simple like, I am growing, I am healing, I am stronger now. Affirm it, and let others affirm it with you. Letting go is not forgiveness, it is freedom. There's a misunderstanding that letting go means forgiving the person who hurt you. But let's be honest, not everything deserves forgiveness. Not every wound is meant to be excused. Letting go is about freeing yourself from the emotional rent someone else is collecting for free. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "No one can build you the bridge on which you must cross the river of life." Letting go is stepping onto that bridge alone. Not because the past deserves forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Think about the person, memory, or moment that has stayed with you for too long. Is it worth sacrificing your future for? Is it worth waking up every day with the same invisible weight? If your answer is no, say it clearly in the comments. I choose freedom. The cost of holding on. Holding on to the past costs more than letting go ever will. It costs you joy. It costs you presence. It costs you opportunities. It costs you relationships. It costs you inner peace. It costs you the version of yourself that life is trying to introduce you to. You cannot carry who you used to be into the life you're meant to live. Imagine trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of stones. Every regret, every memory, every heartbreak, every mistake. How far do you think you can go? Letting go is not dropping your past off a cliff. It's simply putting down the stones so you can finally climb. Tell me below. I'm putting down the weight. Identity is fluid. When you stop growing, you start grieving. Most resistance to letting go comes from one fear. If I let go of my past, who am I? And that question should excite you, not terrify you. The great philosopher Epictetus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and he is not the same man." Meaning, you are allowed to change. You are supposed to change. You were designed to evolve, not to stay loyal to outdated versions of yourself. You are not obligated to remain who pain made you. You are not required to shrink into memories of who you were. You are not meant to be the prisoner of an older chapter. Letting go is simply returning to your natural state. Becoming, transforming, rising. Write this in the comments if it resonates. I am becoming someone new. You are not your wounds. You are the one who heals them. There's a quiet strength inside you that you rarely acknowledge. Not the strength to pretend you're fine, but the strength to confront what hurt you, understand it, release it, and rise above it. Healing is not weakness. Healing is rebellion. Healing is reclaiming territory that trauma thought it owned. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your regrets. You are not your mistakes. You are not the versions of you that didn't know better. You are the one who survived, and the one who creates what comes next. Take a moment and affirm this out loud or in the comments. I am not my past. I am my possibility. You're not starting over. You're starting ahead. People hesitate to let go because they think letting go means starting from zero again. But you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, wisdom, strength, clarity, and depth. Every scar has made you wiser. Every heartbreak has made you softer. Every mistake has made you more aware. Every loss has carved room for something better. Letting go doesn't erase your past. It elevates it. It transforms it from chains into lessons. Comment below if you feel this truth. I am starting ahead. Your future is not waiting, it's calling. There's a moment in every person's life when the future whispers. Sometimes it's soft. Sometimes it's loud. Sometimes it sounds like a dream you once had but abandoned. Sometimes it feels like a version of you standing in the distance, waiting with open arms. But here's the truth few admit. Your future cannot come closer while your past still has its hands on your shoulders. You have to turn around. You have to step forward. You have to loosen the grip of memories that no longer match the direction you're growing. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once wrote, "Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you." He wasn't saying your past doesn't matter. He was saying it doesn't get the last word. Comment this to anchor your belief. My past does not control my future. Release is a skill, not a single act. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's a practice, a discipline, a repeated choice. Think of it like this. Your mind has walked the same emotional path for years. Of course it will wander back to old memories. Of course certain songs or places will wake up something inside you. Of course your heart will sometimes ache for things that are long gone. But every time the past returns, you get to practice letting go again. Choose not to reopen old wounds. Choose not to revisit old identities. Choose not to let yesterday dictate today. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness." He didn't say letting go is easy. He said it is necessary. Write this in the comments. I choose release. The fear of losing what's familiar. One of the greatest obstacles to letting go is the fear of losing the identity you built around your pain. For years, maybe even decades, you've carried certain stories. I'm the one who was betrayed. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one who wasn't chosen. I'm the one who lost something important. These stories may be painful, but they're familiar. And familiarity is powerful. This is why the Stoics spent so much time talking about perception. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," which means the fear of letting go hurts more than the act of letting go. What if you finally release the identity tied to that old heartbreak? What if you let go of the idea that you're not enough? What if you stopped identifying yourself with your wounds? Who would you become? Type it. I release the identity that no longer serves me. Grief is a bridge, not a cage. A lot of people stay stuck in the past because they never learned how to grieve properly. Grief isn't only about losing someone you love. It's also about losing who you used to be. Losing opportunities. Losing time. Losing beliefs. Losing illusions of how life should have been. But grief is a bridge. It takes you from what was to what will be. The problem is when you stop midway and pitch a tent. Letting go requires crossing that bridge, not camping on it. Famed psychiatrist Viktor Frankl taught, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Grief challenges you to grow, to open, to evolve, to choose life again. Comment this if you're crossing the bridge now. I am moving forward. Forgiveness. The misunderstood medicine. Forgiveness is one of the most complicated concepts in letting go. People often confuse it with reconciliation. They think forgiving means forgetting, excusing, or allowing someone back into their life. No. Forgiveness means something far simpler and much more powerful. You free yourself from the emotional leash someone else left tied to your heart. Philosopher Hannah Arendt wrote that forgiveness is the only action that can undo the irreversibility of the past, meaning it breaks the chain of cause and effect that keeps you stuck. You don't forgive because they deserve it. You forgive because you deserve the space in your own mind. Comment it if this resonates. I forgive for my own peace. Letting go of the person you used to love. One of the deepest pains humans experience is letting go of someone they wanted a future with. You didn't just lose a person. You lost a story, a plan, a dream, a vision of your life that you held close to your heart. But here's the part we avoid. Sometimes, destiny removes people not to hurt you, but to clear the path for who you're meant to become. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." Your why cannot be a person who walked away. Your why cannot be someone who didn't choose you. Your why must be the life waiting ahead of you, the one that's still unwritten. Write this affirmation below. I release who is not meant for my future. Letting go of the mistakes you still punish yourself for. Many people are prisoners of their own memory. They don't stay stuck because of what others did. They stay stuck because of what they did. Regret becomes a lifelong sentence. Mistakes become chains. Self-blame becomes an identity. But listen carefully. You cannot punish yourself into becoming a better person. Growth doesn't come from shame. It comes from responsibility, understanding, and redirection. Philosopher Alan Watts once said, "You are under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago." Imagine the relief in that. Imagine the freedom. Imagine finally giving yourself permission to grow past the person who didn't know better. Type this gently, compassionately. I forgive myself. When you let go, you create space. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you release something, someone, some memory, it creates space for something new to flow in. You cannot receive with clenched fists. You cannot welcome with a heart full of old echoes. Letting go creates room for new opportunities, new relationships, new mindsets, new experiences, new love, new levels of self-understanding. It creates room for the version of you that's been quietly waiting to surface. Psychologist Carl Rogers wrote, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Acceptance makes space. Space brings transformation." Comment this if you're ready for your next chapter. I create space for something new. You owe your future more than you owe your past. Loyalty to your past is a silent killer of potential. You owe your past understanding, but you owe your future everything. Your future needs your courage. Your future needs your focus. Your future needs your presence. Your future needs your willingness to change. Do not let yesterday steal years from tomorrow. The great poet Rumi wrote, "Why are you so busy with this or that or good or bad? Pay attention to how things blend. Your past and future blend only when you allow them to. Only when you stop clinging to what was and start honoring what could be." Write this in the comments. My future deserves my full attention. Your life will expand the moment you let go. Most people don't realize how heavy the past has become until they finally set it down. The day you stop replaying old memories is the day new ideas arrive. The day you stop chasing someone who left is the day you notice who's willing to stay. The day you stop punishing yourself is the day you start building yourself. The day you stop carrying the old version of you is the day you step into the new one. Life expands when you do. The philosopher Plotinus said, "Withdraw into yourself and look." He meant, all the growth you need lies within you, waiting for release. Comment this affirmation boldly. I am expanding beyond my past, and now the door you've been waiting for. Here is the final truth. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing. Choosing peace over chaos. Choosing growth over repetition. Choosing healing over hurting. Choosing your future over your past. Life has been waiting for you to release what is no longer yours. The moment you do, the moment you act, the moment you decide, everything shifts. You will meet opportunities meant for this version of you. You will feel lighter in ways you forgot were possible. You will see yourself clearly, maybe for the first time, because letting go doesn't erase your past, it releases its power over you. Write the final affirmation to seal this transformation. I let go. I rise. I begin again.